Good morning, this is Kelley from Alpaca Direct, and we're here at Technique Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about a couple projects today. And one of them is called the Cable Channel, and it's a pillow cover by Michelle Hunter. And this was our homework for this last week. I can't show you mine because I was working on a bunny, but here it is. Can you show them, Jim? And this is using the beautiful Kenzie yarn, which has a lovely halo, and it has the tweed effect. You can see the multi little specks of color in there. Totally beautiful yarn. I just love it. And Tara is sharing with you today. This is from Tara, who works here at Alpaca Direct. And as you can see, we have some fantastic knitters here. So I'm so blessed. When I get off on a tangent, they help me out. So it's totally fantastic. So while we're starting, we are going to be talking about our prize for this week, and we're going to be doing a couple things different. And one of the things that we're going to be doing, which we have been doing for a few weeks, it was you guys help us choose the color. And one of the prizes for this week is for some Kid Silk case, and you can choose one of the 3 colors, so you all can vote and let me know what the prize should be for this Kid Silk case. What color are you?
Hold on, what colors are they, so they know?
Okay, so we have a green, and we have a red, and we have lilac. They're all very beautiful. And so you let me know which one we should be sending in the mail. And then for this last week, we had a prize for 2 skeins of Kenzie, and you guys chose the darker color. So that will be the prize for this last week. And like I said, this Kenzie is beautiful yarn, and I have made so many projects out of it, and I really enjoy it. So as we're going, the first project that I'm going to be talking about here is called The Rabbit. It's called Wild Rabbit by Claire Garland. Can you focus in on this? And this is not for the faint of heart. It is a 28-page pattern. And I started this last Thursday. My husband, you know, he always tells me, take it easy. Think of ways that you can work smart, not hard, you know? And then he said, hey, you should make a bunny for Evie. And I said, oh, that's a great idea. I know this designer that I really like, and I've been wanting to try her projects. And he said, oh, you should do that. So I printed out, and then I realized that it's 28 pages. So here I am this last Thursday, working along trying to find yarns, right? So I chose the Ultra Alpaca Light, and I don't have the skeins in front of you, but here's some yarn I had from my stash. Here are some of the things that I used for this actual bunny project. Jim, can you show them the bunny?
Why don't you hold it up?
Here's the little bunny. It's made out of 50% alpaca, 50% wool, and then with some mohair Kid Silk case. So I changed a few things. Of course, I always change something, right? And I put little buttons on the side for the arms because I wanted Evie to be able to move them. Since she's going to be a year old, this is her first Easter, and so I wanted to do something special. And I have these safety eyes in here. And what I did for the safety eyes is I used this wonderful product that's called it's called Gorilla Glue, and I glued the eyes to the actual fabric. It took about an hour for it to dry. I didn't realize it would take so long to dry, but it was fine. I worked on other parts of the bunny while I was waiting for that. Also, I used some of these little poly pellets, and they are easy to use, non-toxic, washable, and they're just really nice for adding weight to your bunny. So the bunnies, if you look on Ravelry, the bunnies don't sit up and stay on their own. So what I did is I put some fiber fill in the bottom, and then I added some poly pellets so it wasn't so easy to feel that, and in the center to make it so my bunny was weighted so that she would stand up. And then of course I put the really bright pink in the center and a little bit on the neck here, and then on the tail, the way Claire had designed it, it was like kind of a longer skinny tail. So what I did is I grabbed some, before I wove in those ends, I grabbed it and pulled the yarn through to kind of make it more round. And then I attached it on the inside to make that tail just pull in a little bit and make it more circular. And then yesterday I was working on these little toes, and oh my goodness, it took me about over an hour to figure out how to do the toes so that it looked okay. You see the bottoms, they're the same on the top and bottom. And so I did that. And then my arms, the way that Claire had done the pattern, mine didn't look that great when it was finished. So I did the arms totally different. I used Judy's Magic cast on, like for your toe up socks. And then I put the buttonhole in the center here. I could have put the buttonhole a little further back, but I felt like it makes it so it's weighted more evenly in the front and the back, so it doesn't just want to fall down. And so I think that worked out pretty good. And my bunnies, if you look at the little hands, I just used slip, slip, knit, knit two together in the centers. And then I knit like 7 rounds, and then I did that one more, and then I did the decrease, and then I did 4 more rounds, and then I did the decrease. And that was all I did to make the point on my hands to make them look nice. But
hey, Kel, I'll stop for you a second. Bunch of people are all joining in. They're saying hi.
Hi, good morning,
Victoria,
everyone.
Marilyn.
Oh, right.
Kathy.
Okay, so you guys, we're going to be doing a special giveaway today. And I am so excited because we have made these new stitch markers. I've been looking for these rainbow colored stitch markers. You know how I like to use different colors to outline my projects. Maybe I'm gonna outline the beginning of the row with the pink. Maybe I'm gonna do my cable row with the green, etc., etc. And so I really wanted the multicolored. And what I really like about these, Jim, I want to show them how thin they are. They're like super thin. It is stainless steel coated.
Or steel coated.
Or steel coated with
rubber.
Rubber.
Yeah.
And they're, do you see how thin they are? They're wonderful. What I love about these is, you know the bands that I always get and I play with? Well, I use the bands, but they get caught in the stitches, and pretty soon, instead of being 5 stitches from the edge, they're now 6 stitches from the edge, and I don't really care too much because I can, you know, I catch it. But if you were a beginning knitter, that would be a problem. So these little guys, they move smoothly. They're very smooth finish, and they don't get in the way of your gauge. They're fine enough so that when they're held against your needle, they don't change the gauge. Do you see if it's on in there how thin it is? It's wonderful. Oh my gosh, they're totally wonderful. I love these. Oh, and there's a little extra added bonus. They're magnetic. So if you have those little magnetic dishes, you can put these in there and they'll stick to them, like similar to a pin cushion, you know? So that's totally awesome. Okay, so now back to the giveaway for today, right? And the giveaway for today, we're going to be doing something special, and it's an additional giveaway.
Well, it's a discount. It's a discount.
Well, there's a discount and there's a giveaway. So today, any of these 3 products are stitch markers, the safety pin type, or the small circular ones, and the large circular ones are on a special discount. And what is the discount is $2.98 for today.
They're normally $6.
Right? And yes, they're normally much more expensive than that. And I want to get them in your hands because I want you guys to try them because they are so good. And not only that, with these particular stitch markers, normally in a package of stitch markers you might get 20 or 25 stitch markers. We have 40 stitch markers in each one of these. So you have a large amount, and they come in with a nice little case that you can store in your knitting bag. And they're totally fantastic. So if you are watching today, the discount is only for today, and there is an additional discount. If you share with your friends and tell your friends about our Technique Tuesday today, or about the project that we're working on, and you post that in the comments that you did share it, then you will be entered to win a free package of each one of these. So one of you guys who shares will be able to win a package of all 3 of these. So that's how you do it. Share with your friends and post in the comment section that you have shared with your friends, and you'll be entered to win. So that is a great discount, a great price. Also, the discount for today is $2.98, and it's only for today because we want to get these stitch markers in people's hands and let them see what they're like so they can write reviews and let other people know what they're like. So that's totally fantastic. Okay, now back to my little bunny here. This project was so much fun. I got to practice so many skills, and one of the biggest skills that I got to practice was how to pick up stitches. There are a lot of pieces. Like in this ear, for instance, the back of the ear is one piece, and then the center of the ear is each piece is individually, and then you seam them together. So we're going to be talking about how to seam and how to
What about the eyes?
Where to pick up. Yes, and the eyes were, the eyes were a challenge too because you had to stitch them into place. And you wanted to make sure with the top of your eyes that that it's pretty close to the actual eyeball and not too much white showing. It looked better that way. So anyways, also if you are interested in the eyes for your projects, I found mine on Amazon for a package of 25, and they're great little eyes, and they have screw-on backs on them. And like I said, I used Gorilla glue to glue them in place, and then waited for them to dry, and then continued on with my knitting. And also, when you're picking out your colors for your projects, I did find that little tiny color changes look better. It made your bunny look more natural. So if you had huge color changes, it didn't look quite as natural. So for Evie, I know the inside of rabbit's ears, they're not usually that bright, but I wanted to make sure it's a little girl's bunny, a 1-year-old's. So I wanted to do that. And let's see, as we're going along.
Why don't you show them the pattern just so they can see?
Yes. This is the pattern. And if you look at it, that's just the face. Okay, so you have a lot of seaming to do. So you get to work on all different, and then that is where the tail is. This is what the normal tail looks like. And I pulled mine in and made it look more round. And then she has you seam up all these seams along here, which are these seams. Okay, and then you had to pick up stitches around here, all around the back of the base of the neck.
The back, you did that.
Up here by the ears, we had to pick up stitches. There's picked up stitches all over the place. And what I did is on some of them, I would leave, it would say bind off and then pick up stitches. Well, what I would do is I would just leave those on scrap yarn with extra long tails in case I needed to knit more. And then I would come back and maybe use those stitches as picked up stitches, so it made it more smooth. I did, however, when I first did these legs, there is let's see if you can see it. There's seams all along in here. Well, anyways, I thought on here, on one of these places, it looked as if it was going to be the back leg. So I thought, oh, cool. I'll just knit it in the round, right? Well, it wasn't so. It was actually the hip, not the foot. So I had to take that. And of course, I carefully weaved in the ends. I don't know if you guys have done that before. And then Tara was so funny. She works here, and she said, you mean to tell me you didn't read the whole pattern? And I said, I did. Somehow I missed page 24. I don't know how I did that. Usually I don't get sucked into those rabbit holes, but I did on this one. So anyways, it always pays to pay attention and read your pattern before you actually start trying to change it, because maybe there's something there that you're not supposed to be doing. However, with my actual hands, I did the Judy's Magic cast on, and I did them in the round, so I had no seaming for that. And then with the feet, I cast them on in the round, and I did 2 at a time, so I didn't have to pay as close of attention to how many rounds I was doing, because they would be exactly alike. So anyway, I did do that, but there's not a lot of other areas where you can actually cut down on and make things a little easier. So I'm trying to think. Oh, also I wanted to tell you guys that we went and saw Debbie Macomber. Macomber this weekend, and she is such an inspiration. And so this was her new book, and it's a journal for cultivating kindness, joy, and inspiration. And she's a super neat lady, and she loves to tell stories, and it was kind of very funny and entertaining to listen to her, and she had some great life lessons as well for us to learn. So it was really a joy to be able to meet her and talk to her a moment. That was great. So that was at the Coeur d'Alene Resort, and it was so nice that she was so close to where we live. I mean, just a few miles away. So we were able to take advantage of that and go and visit with her and listen to her talk. And it was very inspirational. So if anyone gets a chance to meet her, she is a terrific lady, and I would highly recommend it. It was loads of fun. So now we're going on to our skills, right, Jim? Mm-hmm. And then we can talk about our winner for last week. So a couple of skills that I wanted to talk about, in a lot of the places on this little bunny, they're having you cast off and then cast back on. And so I wanted to talk about, let me just grab my paper here. Sorry, sweetheart. All right, I had my wonderful husband, Jim, helping me. And he always
See, if I ever ask you to make a bunny again, that took forever.
I know, he's going, I thought it was an easy project. I'm like, 28 pages? It's an easy project, just very, very time consuming. Yeah, so he had to be very patient with me, and he's like, you're not done yet? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm only on page 11. I still have a lot of work to do. So
what are you showing here?
I'm going to be talking about two different cast-ons. One is the knitted cast-on, and the other one's E-loop cast-on. And the first, because in this project they tell you to cast on stitches, and they don't tell you which cast-ons to use or when. And for me, sometimes they'd say cast on, and the working yarn would be in the wrong place to do the work. In other words, you may have needed to do an E-loop or a knitted cast on, but both of them I used in this project, so I thought they were worth talking about. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is a knitted cast on, and that one starts by just doing a simple slip knot. And we stick our needle into that slip knot, and we can grab the other end of our needle and then we would start this cast on just by knitting. So we're going to knit a stitch, and then we take that stitch that we've knitted and put it up on the left hand needle. Now don't remove the right hand needle and knit another stitch, and put that up on the needle, keep it in place, and I'll cast on a few stitches here showing you this knitted cast on, and then you can see what it looks like. This is a nice structured cast on, and the cast on's not actually made with the tail. So you know how we always teach the long tail cast on in our begin to knit class? Well, this is a way to cast on and not have to worry about how long your tail is. And that's what the knitted cast on looks like. So it's pretty easy to do. So the next cast on, I'll just start with a slip knot, because it's usually, I use E-loop cast-ons if I'm working in the middle of my project and I need to cast on a few stitches. So here's my slip knot, and then we just wrap it around your finger and place it on the needle. Round your finger on the needle. I'm just going to do a few stitches here, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And this cast on's great for when it's in the middle of your project and you need to cast on some stitches. And that is a less structured cast on, but still a very easy cast on to do. And there's definitely a place for that E-loop cast on. So the next skill that we were working on in on our pattern was, she had some decreases, and oh shoot, Jim, do you mind if I reach across here? Okay. I'm going to reach across here and grab, I think on the very last page she writes her,
looks like a book.
Yes, This is SKPO. So slip one stitch, knit next stitch, and then pass the slip stitch over the knit stitch. Okay? So that is a decrease. And sometimes it looked good in the pattern, and sometimes I wasn't as thrilled with it. So I arbitrarily would change the method that I was using depending on where I was in the pattern and what I was doing. So right here, if you look at this, this right here is one of those decreases, and it is called a slip slip knit. And that slip slip knit, I did slip as if to knit, slip as if to knit, and then knit through the back loop. Now if we go over here, I'm even trying to find it. Ah, here it is, right here. This. That one. Do you see how it's so into the fabric you can't even tell that it's there? That is a decrease that's done. It's a slip slip knit, but you go slip as if to knit, slip one as if to purl, hold the stitches in the front while you knit through the back loop. Now this last decrease is the one that she had in the pattern, this one right here. Can you see that? Right, this right here. And that is her slip one, knit one, pass the slip stitch over. So let me show you how to do these. So I'm going to knit a stitch, and let me see if I can just do two to get away from that edge. And the first one is a regular slip slip knit, so you would slip as if to knit, slip as if to knit. Hold those stitches in the front with your left hand needle and knit through the back loop. That's the first one. And then the next one is slip as if to knit, slip as if to purl. Hold them in the front and knit through the back loop. See how nice that looks? And then the one that was in the pattern from Claire Garland was a slip as if to knit, knit one, then pass that slip stitch, oops, pass the slip stitch over. And that is that one.
And what is that?
These are different ways to decrease so when you're on your pattern, so that some of them looked more obvious and some of them blended in and looked much better. And it depends on where you were in the knitting pattern. I really am liking this slip slip knit in the center, where you slip as if to knit and then slip as if to purl and then knit through the back loop. So that's 3 different ways to do decreases. All right? And the last thing I'm going to talk about, which I feel like is the most important thing of all the skills that I have learned on the bunny, or I get to practice on the bunny, is following your lines and picking up stitches. And you use this same method when you're seaming. So you would think of, you know how your knit stitches are just a loop around the needle, right? That's the loop. You would go right behind where that is. And let's see if I can grab some working yarn here. I grabbed some actual different color, so you could try it, see if that works. So, and you can do this similar to this for.
What is it you're doing here again?
It's picking up stitches, because lots of places in the pattern they're having you actually pick up stitches. And you can use a crochet hook too. This other yarn, my gold yarn, is smaller. It's not as thick of a yarn as this chunky yarn, but it's what I had in a moment's notice. So I grabbed whatever it was I had. So then, let's see. second here. I'm going to see if I can purl back. And mind you, this is a worsted weight yarn and a chunky weight yarn, so they're not exactly.
So what is it you're doing here?
We're doing picking up stitches, because a lot of that, there's several places in the pattern that tells you to pick up stitches. Okay. And do you see how the knit stitches come out of the knit stitches? So they're a perfect line. That's all I did on the back of my bunny's head to make it all the stitches line up.
Here, I'm going to grab this.
Yeah. So you look right in here, and that's all I did right in there. So that's how you do it. It's super simple. Anyways, all right. Now enough with that. Let's take a look and see who the winner was. And I don't even know who the winner is. All right.
You were ripping things out. What was your saying you said?
When in doubt, rip it out. When I was going along, if I didn't get the look that I was going for, I would take it out. So, I'm trying to show you the lines. Can you see the lines on this little guy where I was trying to follow along in here? It took me a few times to get it right. But it's a great way. This bunny is a great way to practice all those skills, because it's not a great big huge project. So it's a great way to practice the skills. And okay, so back to our winner for
before you do,
right?
Tell people about those stitch markers one more time.
Okay, yeah. So you guys, for any of you that are just tuning in and may not have heard, we're having a special on our stitch markers today. These are new to Alpaca Direct. It's 40 stitch markers in each package. One is for larger size needles and the other one is for smaller size needles. And they're on sale for $2.98 today.
And locking
40
ones too.
Stitch markers. All three of these are on sale for $2.98 each, right? So, and the way that you can enter to win one of all three of these, and you can enter by sharing with your friends, and then you post that in the comment section, and then you will be able to be entered to possibly get one of each of these. So that's great. And then also for this week's prize was Kid Simple Case, and it is one of these three colors. I need you to vote and let me tell, so that we can decide which ones we're going to be
what are the colors again?
So they can vote. One is red, one is green, and one is lilac. So that's beautiful. And then the prize for this.
Oh, Kelly, they're asking about those discounts. They do need a code, and Kathleen posted it.
Did you hear that? You need a code, and Kathleen should have posted it for you. So look in there; it should be there. And if you still can't find it, you can.
She's posting it now. I can see it.
Yeah, it should be on there. If for some reason you can't find it, you can always get a hold of Alpaca Direct customer service. But hopefully you'll be able to find it on there. And then this last week's prize was for Kenzie, in this beautiful colorways. And who was the winner? Let's look and see.
And they chose the dark blue too.
Yes, they chose the dark blue last week, so that was wonderful. All right, I'm looking for the winner. Where is it, Jim?
You're missing a page?
I don't have it on here. Yeah, I don't see the winner for this. Last week winner is for. But see, I don't see it on here.
Oh, you took the wrong one.
Oh, darn! We'll have to post that. I guess did I copy it? I printed it before I went ahead and Jim put it in there.
We posted it, so we'll post it.
So we'll have to post it because I don't know.
We
who
already
the winner
picked it.
Is. Oh my goodness. Anyways, it's on the other sheet. I must have printed it before Jim actually put the name in. As you can tell, we wait till the last minute to get everyone to have a chance to enter to win for that prize. And so we'll make sure and post it so we know who the winner is. And then that lucky person gets to let us know what their address is, and we can get it out in the mail to them. And for this next week, I'm going to be doing a nice little crocheted project. And the crochet project is going to be by Claire Garland as well. And I'm looking to see, it's called Lily Nilly. And it's going to be a little crochet doll. Evie's birthday is coming up in May, so I thought it would be neat to work on my crochet and crochet her a little doll with clothes. So I'll be working on that for this next week's Technique Tuesday. And in the meantime, I will see you this next Tuesday at 9:30, and I hope you all have a wonderful Easter. I'm looking forward to sharing it with my family. And I'm having Easter at my house, so I am going to have a lot of work to do because I'm getting ready for a nice big dinner and lots of company. So I'm totally thrilled about that. And you guys have a great week. And don't forget that if you guys want to make this beautiful little bunny, it is by Claire Garland, and it's called Wild Rabbit, and it's on our website at Alpaca Direct. And she does great patterns. They're not for the faint of heart. But they are very well written, and so I had lots of fun making this. So I hope you all have a happy Easter, and I will talk to you soon.